To approach what was distinctive in a vision as complex and protean as that of the Greeks, let us begin by examining one of its most striking characteristics: a sustained, highly diversified tendency to interpret the world in terms of archetypal principles. This tendency was in evidence throughout Greek culture from the Homeric epics onward, though it first emerged in philosophically elaborate form in the intellectual crucible of Athens between the later part of the 5th century BC and the middle of the 4th. Associated with the figure of Socrates, it there received its foundational and in some respects definitive formulation in the dialogues of Plato. At its basis was a view of the cosmos as an ordered expression of certain primordial essences, or transcendent first principles, variously conceived as forms, ideas, universals, changeless absolutes, immortal deities, divine archeia, and archetypes. Although this perspective took on a number of distinct inflections, and although there were important countercurrents to this view, it would appear that not only Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, and Pythagoras before them and Plotinus after, but indeed Homer and Hesiod, Aeschylus and Sophocles, all express something like a common vision, reflecting a typically Greek propensity to see clarifying universals in the chaos of life. Speaking in these broad terms, and mindful of the exactness of such generalities, we may say that the Greek universe was ordered by a plurality of timeless essences, which underlay concrete reality, giving it form and meaning. These archetypal principles included the mathematical forms of geometry and arithmetic, cosmic opposites such as light and dark, male and female, love and hate, unity and multiplicity, the forms of man and other living creatures, and the ideas of the good, the beautiful, the just, and other absolute moral and aesthetic values. In the pre-philosophical Greek mind, these archetypal principles took the form of mythic personifications such as Eros, chaos, heaven and earth, as well as more fully personified figures such as Zeus, Prometheus, and Aphrodite. In this perspective, every aspect of existence was patterned and permeated by such fundamentals. Despite the continuous flux of phenomena in both the outer world and inner experience, there could yet be distinguished specific immutable structures or essences, so definite and enduring they were believed to possess an independent reality of their own. It was upon this apparent immutability and independence that Plato based both his metaphysics and his theory of knowledge. Because the archetypal perspective outlined here provides a useful point of departure for entering into the Greek worldview, and because Plato was that perspective's preeminent theoretician and apologist, whose thought would become the single most important foundation for the evolution of the Western mind, we shall begin by discussing the Platonic doctrine of forms. In subsequent chapters, we shall pursue the historical development of the Greek vision as a whole, and thereby attend to the complex dialectic that led to Plato's thought, and to the equally complex consequences that followed from it. Yet to approach Plato, we must bear in mind his unsystematic, often tentative, and even ironic style of presenting his philosophy. We should bear in mind too the inevitable and no doubt often deliberate ambiguities inherent in his chosen literary mode, the dramatic dialogue. Finally, we must recall the range, variability, and growth of his thought over a period of some 50 years. With these qualifications, then, we may make a provisional attempt to set forth certain prominent ideas and principles suggested by his writings. Our tacit guide in this interpretive effort will be the Platonic tradition itself, which preserved and developed a specific philosophical perspective regarded as originating with Plato. Having established that pivotal position within the Greek mind, we can then move backward and forward, retrospectively to the early mythological and pre-Socratic traditions, and then onward to Aristotle.